Hello. YouTube hates the word so today I'm not anything, but Espresso Outlet is gonna help us something. So we are the DF64 by Turin. So Espresso Outlet has been kind enough to hook us up with this to you, but it's not a but it is a so go ahead, go to the first comment in this video right below, and you could enter to win the not a Hello, welcome to the channel. My name's Joe, where I help you make better coffee and give you honest reviews. First of all, a little housekeeping. I just want to say sorry, it's been a little while since I've posted a video. We have been moving to this house that we're in now. It's been quite a struggle living in my parents' basement while I was recording some of these videos and you know, working on the house and everything. But we are officially here, not quite settled yet, but we will soon be. And hopefully this will give a nice picturesque view for our upcoming videos. Anyways, but to get into it, today we are going to be going over the Lelit Bianca versus the Breville Oracle Touch. So I just wanted to do a comparison of these two. They're around the same price. That's kind of what made me think about this, because they are very different machines, but they are both in that $2,800, $3,000 espresso machine realm. So, you know, it makes sense to maybe compare these two. It maybe doesn't make sense to some people because you'd be like, nah, anybody buying this wouldn't buy this. And that's probably true, but I kind of want to show why you should go with this machine versus this machine, or why you should go with this machine versus that machine. So give me a little bit and I will kind of try to explain those two things to you, and I'll do a little bit of a pro and con, and then we'll make some espresso. So let's get to it. All right, so this machine over here, the Breville Oracle, is, I would say, for the person that is looking for an ease of use and doesn't want to try to really dive deep into espresso quite as much as the Bianca. There's a lot of like consumer forward pieces about this machine, you know, from opening up when you want it to, so like turning it on at a certain time of day every day, having it automatically turn off. The auto steam wand on this is really wonderful, does a great job, but you're not really learning how to, you know, do it yourself, and you can't actually do it yourself either. This machine doesn't let you have it cocked this direction and steam at the same time. You have to have this down. So, you know, there's things like that that make it a little more average consumer forward. The automatic grinder that's built into this is pretty nice, I will say. But again, this is something that you're not going to need to learn how to, you know, tamp or distribute coffee by yourself. It's kind of doing everything for you. It's nice about that. But if you are someone who wants to learn how to make espresso, or maybe you already know how to make espresso and you want to, like, you know, gotta dive deeper into, you know, different profiles and things like that, that's when the Bianca is going to shine a lot more. The other thing about the Oracle is it is, again, a little more consumer appliance-y feeling. In some ways there is some plastic on it, whereas the Bianca has no plastic at all. It's all very high quality chrome. There's maybe a couple of things too where it's like, you know, not the thickest of chrome, but it's still all metal construction. You do have some other like plastic, especially underneath the machine and within the machine on here, where this one you really don't have anything. And then you have the screen. So the screen on here gives you a lot of different ways to customize your drinks. You can, you know, have it set to automatically make lattes. You could set milk temperatures the exact way you want. But again, you're not really diving deep into espresso. So that's kind of the main focus on the Oracle. While I think it does all of those things very well, and I think somebody who does know how to make espresso really well, who is really deep into it, can wake up and have this machine in front of them and be very happy, especially in a household where maybe you have, you know, husband and wife, and one of them is very deep into the espresso world and one isn't. This is kind of a nice in-between, because you can learn how to do espresso very nicely. You could learn how to, you know, do different drinks and beverages nicely. At the same time, you can let, you know, someone who doesn't want to learn those things just have a setting, do it the same way every time, and have it done. But in terms of, you know, really getting deep into it, there are some things on here I will say that it lets you do. So on the in the touchscreen, you can actually change the temperature of stuff. So if you want to change your temperature of you know, the brew temperature and things like that, or if you want to change the temperature of your steamed milk, you can do that. So yeah, let me little transition over here. So this machine is somebody who loves espresso, is already gone down the journey of owning maybe a Barista Express and wants to go deeper, or somebody who's, you know, worked at a cafe and already knows, you know, how to do everything and make espresso very nicely. This is the machine for you, especially if you want to get into flow profiles. The thing with the Bianca is it has 2 giant boilers. Not that the Oracle doesn't have 2 boilers. It is a 2 boiler, but this is a higher end boiler system, 2 large boilers. And you can set the temperature of both of them with the PID system here. It is nice that you have the ability to, you know, you have the non-burn steam wand, which actually on the Oracle is kind of weird. It's not, it is a non-burn, but it does seem to get stuff burnt on to the actual steam wand pretty frequently. I will say, like, after you're done steaming, most of the times, especially if you're going over like 125 degrees, you're gonna have some buildup on this wand here. Whereas on the Bianca, because it's a lot of pressure all at once, it does it very quickly. You are gonna have a better time on this. It's not gonna be quite as tacky and stuck on there. So that's one nice thing there, and that's something you will have to realize on here. The other thing with the Bianca is you do have this wonderful little paddle here. So the paddle gives you the ability to change the amount of water being pushed into your shot of espresso. So if you want to try to delve into creating your own different profiles, so if you want to do a lower extraction, so you want to go 3 bars or so and then build up real high, then you can do that. So this machine gives you the ability to kind of really play around with your espresso shots quite a bit. The other pieces too that I want to talk about is the hot water tap. Obviously, if you're making a lot of espresso and you want to make drinks really fast and you already know how to make shots of espresso and everything, the Bianca is going to be actually faster than the Oracle because the steam wand is very slow. The grinder is terribly slow. So if you were to have a race side by side, you could probably get 2 shots of espresso with a good grinder out of here versus 1 on this Oracle. And especially when you get into the steamed beverages, it's going to take a very long time to steam milk on this particular machine, mostly because of this automatic steam wand. I will say you're going to get the same product almost every time out of this, whereas this, you're kind of, you know, leaning on your own to be able to do it yourself, but everything is going to be so much faster. And that leads to the hot water tap. Hot water tap, again, this is using steam pressure, so you're going to get hot water just shot into your cup immediately like that. Whereas on this machine, it is just using the brewer. So it's kind of a slow dribble, as I like to say. It will go, and you can have it set to a certain level, which is nice, and you don't have to worry about it. But it's not quite as quick as this machine. One other thing I wanted to mention is the drip trays on both these. The drip tray on this, I think, looks a little bit nicer, less prone to scratching because of these wire frames here. And it can definitely fit a little bit more liquid than this one. But the nice thing with the Breville one, even though it is plastic and, you know, doesn't feel quite as nice, the nice thing with this is a very heavy machine, both of them. This one, especially with the grind hopper on top, if you have, you know, normal setup of cabinets, if this goes under cabinets, you really can't fill this up easily with coffee beans if it's underneath cabinets. So the nice thing with this one is you can easily pop this little wheel off and it slides around. Kind of cute. Whereas the Bianca, you better start doing some pull-ups, because this sucker is heavy and it's hot. If this was on, don't touch it anywhere around here. It will burn you. So that's one very nice thing. Again, consumer thinking machine, a little bit more prosumer level machine over here. So just a thought. So in terms of just, you know, heat and maybe child safety stuff, again, I think the Breville was thinking more about that, the everyday consumer. This machine does get warm, especially on top. This is like where the heater is for your cups, which makes sense it would get hot. But it definitely doesn't get quite as ripping hot as the Lelit. And to mention on top of that, any of these parts right here on the front, especially this brew head, all this stuff, that is so hot that if you touch it for like 2 seconds, you will burn yourself. So if you have a lot of children in the house and you're worried about them, you know, touching this, especially if you're using it on the daily, again, this is another part where Breville is thinking about people of, you know, everyday usage and stuff like that. So, you know, Breville keeps doing the stuff for that, you know, consumer use, whereas this is definitely focused on, hey, this is for making espresso, just espresso. So yeah, that is kind of the main features that I wanted to talk about. So let me do a quick side-by-side shot, and we can compare how your espresso brewing goes. All right, folks, we are on the struggle bus right now. I have no espresso cups that have been removed from our boxes. So we have a coffee cup and a dosing cup. How do you like that? And with the help of my assistant here, she is going to hit the brew button at the same time, and we're gonna make a shot of espresso. So go ahead, let's do it. We'll do 30 seconds. I'm gonna keep this low, and then slowly increase. There we go. This is coming out to be quite a nice shot, actually. We're timed pretty nicely here. All right. I think that actually is pretty good. I didn't even see much channeling. So I'm going to start with the Lelit. By the way, we are using a Kicking Horse, I think it was like Twisted Sister or something like that, blend. And let's give it a shot here. Crema actually looks pretty good. Don't know if we can get in there or not, but looks like a decent shot. I don't have a scale to tell you what we got, but it looks good. Yeah, that's not bad. This is a pretty traditional, like, espresso shot. Probably 2 to 1 if I was guessing. Did seem to pull a little bit faster, even though we're using like the exact, maybe it's about the same. I was say we are using the exact same roast, the exact same grind settings, and the exact same portafilter basket. So yeah. Pretty similar. This one is definitely bringing out a little bit more of the deep chocolate flavors, a little bit more caramel. This tastes a little bit more watery compared to this one. So yeah, the depth of flavor is a little bit more deep in here. But again, I had all the ability to, you know, do a nicer, you know, shoot it with a bunch of water, slow it down, bring it back up. So you can kind of get better shots if you know what you're doing. So the conclusion with these two machines, I've scored both of them. Go ahead, you can click on one of the links or whatever to watch both video reviews. I loved both these machines. They're for different people, but they're both very, very good machines. If you gave me either one to have to use daily, I would be pretty happy. Myself, I like using this machine more. I also think it's a little bit more beautiful if you like to showcase your espresso machine in your house. But this machine is also very, very good. I don't think it looks ugly by any means. I just think this one looks nicer. And, you know, it's definitely easier to use. I think this is a little bit less intimidating, especially since there's a screen on it. You just click on it and go through. But that's my conclusion. I think no matter who you are, Whether you're an espresso snob or you're just getting started out, I think both machines would be great. But if you are just an espresso snob, and then this machine would be good. And maybe if you're just starting out, that's the machine to go with. So thanks for watching. Definitely don't forget to look at my comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks again.